Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture.
Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
Steeler Nation, what is going on? Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on yet another edition of the Steeler Culture Podcast, where we break down Pittsburgh Steelers football. This episode is powered by our great friends over at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. We're here live on this Thursday night, preparing for a short week, going up against the Baltimore Ravens, matchup number 2. This time it is in Baltimore, with the AFC North on the line for the Pittsburgh Steelers' sake. This is a game I don't want the Steelers to lose, obviously. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. This is a game the Steelers cannot lose. Now, if this is a game the Steelers do, in fact, do lose, they're not completely out of the AFC North title picture. They would have to win their next 2 games in order to win. But it'd be a lot easier if the Steelers go into Baltimore and just sweep the Ravens for a second year and completely clinch the division with just 2 games to spare. Yeah. I think that's just a lot easier. Oh, it's much easier, man. Just walk into Baltimore, get the dub, and it's not like the Steelers haven't been able to beat the Ravens in Baltimore. I mean, if you look at the numbers when it comes to this rivalry, I believe it's the past 8 or 9 games that the Steelers have played the Ravens, they have won. Right. They have won 4 straight in general against Baltimore, and the last 4 times in Baltimore, in the Ravens' home, the Steelers have won. Yeah. So the numbers are definitely on the Steelers' side when it comes to this rivalry. Yeah. But if there's one thing that we know about this rivalry, it's that it could go any direction in any way. It can go any which way, any Sunday, or in this case, any Saturday, since it's going to be a Saturday afternoon game, a 4:30 game over here on the East Coast of the United States, which is a little different. It's not it's not the craziest day. I mean, like, we did play the Ravens on one Wednesday before. Remember? Yeah, that was the 2020. That was the COVID year. Yeah, that was kind of strange. That was weird. Did we win that game? Yeah, we won that game. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think we did win that game. We won that game. Yeah, we swept Baltimore that year. Yeah, that was when Lamar was out with COVID and like 15 other people. Yeah, you know, it was a wild game. It was a wild year, but here we are in 2024 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are as good as we've seen them probably since 2020, and I'd even go farther back to 2017 if I'm being honest. Yeah. But obviously they're coming off of a rough loss last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Just a devastating loss. They kept it competitive at some point, and then that Najee fumble kind of just sealed everything. It took the breath out of the Steelers completely. It ended our fate, really. I mean, it actually told us our fate at that point. In this game, the offense got to be absolutely better. They got to start faster. 2 yards in the first quarter cannot be a constant thing. It cannot be a repeat.
No.
Not against Baltimore, not in a game like this. This is high octane. This is high stakes. This is the most important game of the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. We always talk about one game at a time. Well, this should be treated as if it's a playoff game or as if it's the Super Bowl for the Steelers. They should be treating this as if the season is on the line. The Steelers win, then they win the AFC North. They clinch the AFC North division. It's very important that they win this game. They take whatever they got to take from last week's loss and harbor and improve on that, improve on the negatives, and go into Baltimore on the road against a divisional rival and win this game and sweep the Ravens for a second straight season.
Yep.
It's a necessity. The most important game this season, and it just ensures that we get home field advantage for at least hopefully the first playoff game. If they remain the third seed. That will follow after this game if the Steelers win, but again, one thing at a time. Let's just focus on beating the Ravens and clinching the division. But the thing is, they will be without George Pickens for a third straight game. Pickens will not be playing.
Nope.
He did not practice at all this week, and he is out again after hurting his hamstring just, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago in practice, yeah.
2 weeks ago tomorrow is when he hurt his hamstring. And here we are. He's going to be missing his third straight game, man. It's unfortunate. And we all know the impact that Pickens brings to the table. This offense is just significantly better with Pickens. Now, I will add, they did already beat an AFC North rival without him. They beat the Browns. And I argue that the Ravens secondary is a little worse than the Browns. But this is Steelers versus Ravens we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it statistically, yes, the Ravens are far worse as far as defense goes than Cleveland, but you just stated it right there. This is AFC North football. I mean, I've stated it every single time. There is no better football out there than AFC North football.
Yes.
It's always going to be competitive, physical, down to the wire, just brutality is the name of the game when it comes to AFC North.
Well, there's just no better football than Steelers versus Ravens. And what better way to, I suppose, end the doubleheader on Saturday, since there's going to be the Chiefs and the Texans right before. Then we got the Steelers and Ravens. Not exactly in prime time, but it's in a nice spot on a Saturday. It's a short week. It's unfortunate for both teams, especially the Steelers, seeing that they got to play on Christmas come next week versus the Chiefs.
But so do all the teams playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the Steelers aren't alone in that.
They're not.
I just want to throw it out there.
I'll even say the Chiefs, man, they kind of got dealt a bad hand at the same time. So I don't want to sound selfish in saying the Steelers got screwed. So will the Chiefs, seeing that Mahomes is hurt. He's going to be ready to go. They play Saturday, and then they both got to prepare on the short week for Christmas.
Indeed.
And that game is going to have a lot of high stakes, especially if the Steelers lose, because that's a game they have to win. Or let's say the Steelers win this game, they clinch the division, and they sweep the Ravens. They still got to win that game because, dare I say, there is a chance the Texans win on Saturday, and the Steelers could knock the Chiefs out of the first seed because the Bills would have beat them, the Texans would have beat them, and the Steelers would have beat them. That knocks their conference record down so much that they would be out of the first seed.
And you take away home field advantage from Kansas City. I'm sure that's what every AFC team is trying to look to do moving forward.
That's important. But obviously, that's for next week. That's for next Wednesday. So one thing at a time. We got the Ravens, man. We'll talk about the Steelers versus Ravens. We'll preview the matchup and things we got to discuss and the inactives. Well, not the inactives, but the people that will be inactive, plus the entire injury report regarding Pickens, Watt, Elliott, Ogunjobi, Dante Jackson, all the bunch.
Yep.
There's updates on all of them. We'll discuss it. There is a poll in the chat for you guys. Which team wins the turnover battle, the Steelers or the Ravens? So far, a resounding 76% say that the Steelers will win the turnover battle. Well, they did last time, 3 turnovers. And if there's one thing we know the Steelers defense is very good at versus the Ravens and versus Lamar Jackson specifically, it is forcing the turnovers. That's going to be crucial for this game. I feel very confident, especially seeing that Watt is going to be playing. He is off the injury report. He has no injury designation. Watt will be playing.
Thank goodness.
That is huge. I just hope and pray he's as healthy as he can be, because God forbid he re-aggravates the low ankle sprain and we miss him for the playoffs.
Yeah.
We've been there, done that. Don't want to do that again. But Watt is healthy. He will be playing, and let's hope he brings the impact he needs to, and he comes out as healthy as he can, as long as this entire team. We all know we're going to need it for the playoffs, man. We got all these injuries right at this time, the worst time possible, but maybe, perhaps, everything can work out in terms of a health aspect, and we'll be getting healthier right in time for the playoffs. So that's a good thing to know, man. But we'll discuss all that. We want to thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Steel Culture Podcast. So we appreciate you guys as always. A Thursday night edition. Typically we do Friday, but since the injury news is out today, might as well just do Thursday because why not? You know,
it's a short week at the same time.
It is. So yeah, we figured we'd just do it on a Thursday. So we appreciate you guys for joining us. Even though the Broncos and the Chargers are playing right now, a very good game. In fact, the Chargers just got the lead back, so that's interesting. We'll see how that game goes. But appreciate you guys for joining us as always, man. Get you guys' polls in the chat. Let us know you guys' thoughts in the live chat as well. And a huge shout out to the sponsor of this live stream. Shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring with us for another week of the NFL season, Week 16. This is the third to last week of the regular season. You guys see they got live wagering on all major sports. The Broncos are now down 24-27 to the Chargers, man. Can Bo Nix lead them back? Man, they're really fighting for a playoff spot. We'll see what happens. But they got all the Week 16 money lines as well. Saturday, we got the Texans at the Chiefs. The Texans are the upset. They're still fighting. They already clinched the division, but they're still fighting for a higher seed. And they're hoping that the Steelers lose to the Ravens because if the Texans win and the Steelers lose, the Texans are right behind the Steelers in terms of seeding. So they're trying to get a higher seeding as much. So if you want to take the Texans as the underdog, I might have in a certain parlay, but you guys can do that. Steelers, you see them there. They are actually a very heavy underdog. 6-point underdogs. 6 point. Now, I know that these games are within one score all the time, but 6 points?
Yeah, I mean, I understand if they want to go with the Ravens, that's fine. But 6 points, I find that to be a little ambitious.
A little bit.
That might just be me, but I mean, I just don't see it that way. I don't.
Yeah, a little bit for the Ravens.
Not between these two teams.
So I'm going to take the Steelers spread because I think they keep it within 6 points, even in a losing effort if that's the case. And I'm going to pick the under because that's just typically how these games go. It's typically within the under. The over-under is 44 points, so I feel very safe in saying that that's going to be under, especially seeing how the Ravens and Lamar play against a healthy Steelers defense and how Pickens will not be involved in this game. And keep in mind, the last time these two teams fought, the Steelers didn't even score a touchdown. So,
yeah.
So I'm going to combine that. I'm going to combine that into a nice parlay here. I'm going to place a wager. If you guys want to tail this or you guys want to do any other combinations, plus look into the prop builder for any over-unders or any statistics or even anytime touchdowns you guys want to add, feel free to do that at BetUS. If you guys are looking for a new sportsbook this season, I highly encourage BetUS, especially since they have a nice 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next two deposits when you use that promo code YouTube150 when signing up at BetUS.com today. Huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us. Just please gamble responsibly. Now, I want to get into the injury report first because that's very important. As we mentioned earlier, Watt will be playing, Pickens will not. Watt does not have an injury designation. He's good to go. Let's hope he's as healthy as he can be and he exits this game as healthy as he can ever get, right? Not only is Pickens out with a hamstring for his third straight game, Justin Fields is out. We will not be seeing Justin Fields, no Justin Fields packages, no Justin Fields whatsoever versus the Ravens.
Nope.
None. Kyle Allen will be the number 2. So I don't anticipate Kyle Allen being involved or seeing playing time, knock on wood, God forbid, Russ stays healthy. But what I'm saying is Fields is out. So there goes that idea for Arthur Smith. And we got Fields in short yard situations or just to keep the defense on their toes. Fields is out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dealing with an abdominal injury. And I remember he was in for that one play, and he got hit hard, and I believe the player was actually penalized for it.
It was.
But it was just that hit alone. I mean, for that one play, it was able for Fields to not even participate in practice at all this week.
No.
So, yeah, Fields is out.
Fields is out. Deshaun Elliott, we were hoping he'd be back with a hamstring as well. He's doubtful, which means he's most likely not going to play. So Elliott probably won't be playing against his former team. We'll be seeing Casey and Sutton back at safety. So most likely, no Elliott. That sucks.
Yeah.
It means Minka will play in the box more. Again. Dante Jackson, Larry Ogunjobi, questionable. They could be back.
We're going to need Larry O back because we got to stop Derrick Henry as much as we can. And Dante Jackson, he hasn't been the brightest spot in the secondary the past couple weeks. I'm not going to lie to you. However, 5 interceptions on the year. He is a veteran. And quite frankly, that would mean more James Pierre if he can't go. I don't think any of us are in favor of James Pierre starting opposite JPJ, who he himself has not looked good.
No, honestly, I mean, I would look more towards Corey Trice and give him that opportunity. That's most likely not going to happen. But if anything, if Jackson cannot go, have Trice be available. Do not make him a healthy scratch. Do not make him a healthy inactive. Get Trice available. Get him some pads and have him ready.
Yeah, I don't know why Trice has been inactive since coming back from IR. That makes no sense to me. He has no injury report whatsoever. He's not on the injury report or nothing. He's just a healthy inactive. Why?
If I had to guess, it's probably because Sutton is back from suspension.
I could see
Maybe
that.
Sutton is filling that role that Trice had to fill in when Sutton was out with suspension before Trice ended up getting hurt. So now that Sutton's back, maybe they just feel like, Sutton, he's more the veteran. He's more experienced with what we need him to do. And maybe they don't want Trice to play. Although, I mean, like, I have no problem having both of them as healthy guys.
Definitely not. I feel like they should have as many cornerbacks active as possible. Now, clearly, when Sutton was suspended, Trice was active. Now that Sutton's back, to your point, Trice is inactive.
Yeah.
But I still find a way to put Trice on the active roster because I think him and his special teams ability and the fact we could use him in the secondary would be crucial, especially seeing how JPJ and Dante have been a little bit lackluster the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and with Sutton and his usage, I mean, you see him playing a lot more safety snaps this go around with the Steelers than he ever has.
Yeah.
If they want to experiment, they could have Sutton play up as safety because KZ, he's probably going to be filling in if Elliott can't go, but I'm not exactly confident in KZ filling in that role. Honestly, I would give the nod to Sutton and give him some reps of safety just to see how he is up there, see and get a feel of how he's going to play up there and just get Trice involved, get him healthy, get him ready to go, and just see if Pierre's not doing his job, if Jackson can't go, if Pierre's not stepping up, then you get Trice in there, just see what the young stud can do.
I agree. I mean, I'm not anticipating it, but that's just, wishful thinking.
Just throwing it out there. That's all I'm doing.
That's just wishful thinking. But, yeah, I think that's a great way to transition with this defense because clearly when you think of Steelers versus Ravens, you think of, well, it's defensive. It's very defensive.
Low scoring.
Low scoring, turnovers. It's just such a gritty, tough battle. Like, which defense is going to force the most turnovers or what offense is going to cough the ball up first?
Yeah, because, I mean, like, to Dan's, state right here, like, when's the last time you've seen a shootout between the Steelers and Ravens?
Shout out to Icy Rhodes. Icy Rhodes with a $9.99 says, we need a wide receiver too this offseason. Heard Garrett Wilson wants out of the Jets. Pickens being out is killing us. I did hear about that. And,
I'm not diving into that poll just yet. I'm not.
We've been there, done
I'm
that
still
twice.
trying to get through the season. When it comes to the offseason, then maybe I'll dip my toes in there.
Well, I always say where there's smoke, there's fire. And the answer to that is yes. 1,000%.
Listen, I'm not going to say no. And the Jets need a rebuild. Let me just say that.
Obviously. They're a disaster.
Big time. I mean, my goodness.
They're a disaster.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson to the Steelers? Yes, please. I have 3 requests for the Steelers receiving fixes next season. Well, 4. But my top 3 would be T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, Garrett Wilson, then drafting a receiver. That's for offseason talk, but it's never too early to kind of just
No, and I kind of want to bring
ahead.
up wide receiver, but, that's later down into the live stream when we get to the offense.
Yes. But the defense, man, they got to be on top this time. They got to be as strong as they were the first go-around, just a little stronger.
Yeah.
3 turnovers in the last matchup. An interception from Peyton Wilson. Unbelievable play from the rookie. He's going to be getting his name called a lot in this game as well. Covering the tight ends and being as strong as he can against the run and using his range and his speed. He's been showing that a lot all season.
Of course.
He made a hell of a play versus the Ravens last time. We're going to need him to step up again.
Patrick Queen, last go-around against the Ravens, Queen had probably the best game of his season.
Absolutely.
I mean, Queen came up big against his former team. Now he's going up against the team again.
In Baltimore.
This time he's going back home, quote unquote, right? He's going back to Baltimore. He even, stated that, I'm probably going to get a bunch of boos and a bunch of FUs from that fan base.
Sure.
Considering, he's wearing enemy colors, so to speak. But, Queen had a tremendous game against the Ravens last go around. We're going to need to see that a bit more again.
And Nick Herbig obviously forcing the fumble on the second play of that game. Nick Herbig won't be starting this game because Alex Highsmith is back. Watt is healthy, but having Nick Herbig as a rotational piece is incredible. Highsmith will be back for this game. He didn't play the first Steelers versus Ravens game. Having him back is huge because he's made a lot of plays versus the Ravens in his career. So have Watt. Those two are going to have to come up big to trying to force pressure and getting to Lamar and forcing Lamar to make mistakes and forcing fumbles like we've seen in years past.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about the type of season that Lamar Jackson has had. I mean, like, he is probably going to be MVP for a second straight season.
If it's not Saquon, if it's not Josh Allen, it's going to be Lamar.
I believe, especially after the game he had just last Sunday against the Giants, 5 touchdown performance. I mean, it's kind of hard not to see Lamar not receive the MVP award.
Well, look at it this way. Lamar is what, 5th in passing yards, but 34 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's got to be best touchdown interception ratio from any quarterback all season.
And
we're talking about a quarterback here.
And you add along, his rushing yards at that, man. He's about to top what he had last year, and he also has Derrick Henry to help him in running the football. So it's just like, it goes to show that there was never any doubt of Lamar Jackson's talent and capabilities as a football player. Just what he brings to the Ravens is exactly, what the Ravens invested in for all this time.
100%.
And Lamar is just an outstanding talent, of course, but against the Steelers, we just know how to game plan against them. Like, for whatever reason, Lamar just can't handle the pressure when it comes to facing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, he can't.
That could be in Pittsburgh. That could be in Baltimore. It doesn't matter. Lamar just acts under pressure when he goes up against the Steelers defense.
In fact, Lamar's 2-5 versus the Steelers. 2-5 in his entire career versus the Steelers, with a touchdown-interception ratio of 5 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
The Steelers are Lamar's kryptonite. I don't know how they do it. They just find a way to game plan against Lamar perfectly almost every single time. They do. It's just one of those things. Lamar he doesn't play good against us. And you can bank on that for this game as well, but I also don't want to underestimate the power of the Ravens offense and what Lamar can do. But I do trust our defense to go up against Lamar because history shows they can do it.
Yeah.
They can slow him down. They can force him to make mistakes. You got to trust this defense against Lamar until proven otherwise. Now, in the same breath, the defense has been a little sus the past couple weeks. The pass defense specifically. The secondary, not good. And we're talking about Lamar Jackson, who he's about to have a 1,000-yard receiver, and Zay Flowers. And Zay Flowers is in his second year. Rashad Bateman is having a breakout season. He hasn't been consistent. He still has some drop issues, but he's been that reliable deep threat, that long ball for Lamar all season. He showed it last week as well.
Didn't he have 2 touchdowns? He now has 7 touchdowns total on the season. Like, the man's having a hell of a season.
That's second on the team.
Yeah.
Only behind Mark Andrews, who has 8 touchdowns. Don't forget Isaiah Likely. He had 75 yards versus Steelers last time.
He did, yeah, that's right. So, like, the weapons, man, like, Lamar just executing with the weapons. They're getting more involved. Like, Lamar and his ability to throw is just on point this year, probably more than ever in his career, in his Ravens career. So, yeah, I mean, despite the resume between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Lamar Jackson, you still don't want to underestimate Jackson's capability of trying to pull a rabbit out of his ass and pull off a win here because, like, the AFC North Division is on the line when it comes to the Ravens, and it's in their household. And not just that, but their playoff berth at the same time.
Yes, because
they don't want any of that slipping away.
Because they're 9-5. If they lose, they become 9-6, and their playoff chances are still open. They just slim a little bit, especially with how tight the AFC conference is getting.
Right.
If you look at the playoff picture, I mean, the Broncos are playing right now. If they find a way to pull off the upset and get a win, they get 10 wins. That would put them ahead of the Ravens in a wild card spot.
I believe if Denver wins against the Chargers, they actually clinch a playoff berth.
Really?
Just like that, yeah.
Would they clinch or would they get close? I don't think they would clinch.
I think they clinch a playoff berth if they win.
Really?
I believe that is correct, yeah, against the Chargers.
Yeah, correct us if we're wrong there, but I know for sure that.
So that already would take a wild card spot off the board.
So, it's like, I don't want to say the Ravens' season is on the line, but it would be a little tougher for them to reach the playoffs if they lose in their house and get swept by the Steelers, which is why this game is very important for the Steelers, and I think it's going to start with the defense. I'd like to say it would start with the offense, but I think it really does start with the defense because you got to slow down Lamar. You got to do what you've been doing with Lamar pretty much ever since he came into the league.
Yep.
Just forcing turnovers, limiting his options, getting pressure, getting to Lamar, and forcing the game into his hands. Now, to give Lamar credit, he's having his best season of his entire career. He only needs 3 touchdowns to top his career high in passing touchdowns in the season. So credit to Lamar. He's literally playing like a quarterback. You got to give him his flowers.
Yeah.
But you got to force the game into his hands again. Because odds are, especially against the Steelers, when Lamar has to bring the Ravens back, when Lamar has to win the game, he can't do it against the Steelers. The pressure gets to him too much.
Yep.
Too much. It all starts with slowing down Derrick Henry, though.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the last go-around, Henry did have a touchdown, but I mean, I think he only had, 65 yards against the Steelers in that matchup?
Yes.
And actually, I did a little digging on Derrick Henry versus the Steelers in his career, even when he was a Titan. Matter of fact, believe it or not, the Steelers prepare very well against Derrick Henry because Henry has never had 80 yards or more versus the Steelers.
Never?
Never.
Billy Maher with a 199 says time of possession will be key. 36 minutes last time. Yeah, that's a great point. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a very good point. Yes, time of possession will be key. That's keeping Lamar off the field, and that's obviously trying to get a run game going on offense.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing how we don't have Pickens in this game, that might have to be the case, but I'll give the Ravens this. Their run defense is statistically the best in the league.
They're still a run defense. They just know how to stop the run.
They do.
They're very good at that. That's actually, when it comes to the defense, that's probably the most consistent thing about the Ravens. If it's not that, it's definitely the pass rush.
I mean, look at their linebacking core. Look at their front seven. When it's fully healthy, I mean, it's led by Roquan. It's led by Matabuke. It's led by Travis Jones.
Adafio Way.
They got an Adafio Way. I mean, he has 8 sacks on the year.
And Kyle Van Noy, man, what is he, 33 years old? I mean, he's about to hit double digits for the first time in his career. I mean, like, that's actually kind of insane if you think about it.
And Oweh had 2.5 sacks against the Steelers last time.
Yeah, that's right.
So don't want to underestimate, those guys because, I mean, this is a game between two teams that are just, they both want this win so bad. It's almost as if the season is on the line in a sense. More so for the Ravens than the Steelers because the Steelers already clinched a playoff spot. But it's almost as if this season is on the line. It honestly almost feels like the Steelers versus Ravens Christmas game from 2016.
Yeah, and I remember that game very vividly.
I don't know why. I get the same feeling, the same vibe here. No, it's not because of the time of the year. It's just it has that importance to it.
It's because, there's a lot at stake for both teams. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in that same year, the Steelers already clinched a playoff berth, but, the division was still on the line, and that's what's really at stake here. That's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
And when the division is on the line between these two teams, that's probably when the best football comes out between these two football teams.
And we're talking about, I mean, this might be, well, first of all, it's the best the Steelers have looked all season from a season overall aspect. It's the best they've looked in a while. And the Ravens, we all know they got the talent to be maybe better than what their record shows, but to be, a favorite for the AFC. I mean, they were the number 1 seed last year, and lo and behold, they lost in the championship game. And now they're getting crunched up in the division because ever since the Steelers beat the Ravens last time a month ago, that's when they got first place. And the Steelers haven't even let grip of that lead of first place of the division.
No, the entire time the Ravens have been playing catch up.
Don't start now.
No.
You can't start now. So the defense is going to have to come up big. We got to slow down Derrick Henry. We got to force the game into Lamar's hands. We got to get to him, and we got to force the turnovers. Very much like we did last time, and very much like we've done against Lamar many times. Force the turnovers, force the game in his hands, and then your chances are pretty solid. However, the offense, again, they're going to be without Pickens. The offense is night and day without him. We saw last week. Now, I will give them this. They were a little competitive before that Najee fumble. Lord knows what could have happened if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I want to give them that. And they did beat the Browns without Pickens, so they can get a little something going. They just don't have that field stretcher. They don't have that guy at receiver. They are led by Van Jefferson, of all people. Mike Williams hasn't seen 20 snaps or more ever since being traded.
No, as a matter of fact, before you go on here, I actually did more digging up on that because in the games that Pickens has been out, the past 2 games, in total, Van Jefferson has 83 snaps on offense in 2 games.
83 in 2 games.
While Mike Williams only has 34.
You don't even have half.
No. Jefferson
What are we
has
doing,
outsnapped
Arthur?
Williams by 49 snaps.
What are we doing, Arthur?
And I have not seen any impact from Van Jefferson. I mean, I haven't seen any all season. I haven't. Van Jefferson, in my opinion, he's just there. But he doesn't play like a number 2. He doesn't play like a starting wide receiver. He's playing like a backup. He's a starting wide receiver that is a backup.
Bro, it's like the Steelers send him out there, and it's almost as if they're desperate. Like, okay, maybe this is the game he does something. Maybe this is the game he breaks out. You know, it's like they keep trying, and nothing's working.
No, but I see Mike Williams in limited snaps, especially in that Browns game, and Williams did more. He's doing more in less snaps than Jefferson is doing in much more, in 49 snaps more.
Right. Hell, even Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin has had a very good year.
Yeah, and last week's game against the Eagles, both Jefferson and Austin had equal amount of snaps, 35. That's over 80% last week against the Eagles.
Right.
But the difference was Jefferson had 1 catch that went nowhere, 0 yards. Calvin Austin, he had 5 catches for 65 yards.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just night and day when it comes to Calvin Austin's capabilities and his ability to be a big-time player, to be a guy that can step up and fill the void if he needs to, while Jefferson isn't exactly being that guy, even though he's been the veteran for quite some time.
Right.
And Mike Williams, who obviously we traded a 5th-round pick for because, the Steelers were scorching the earth for a wide receiver, they finally settled for Mike Williams.
They got very desperate. And yes, you can put blame on Khan and company and everybody for putting us in this position. Pickens got hurt. Our grandest fear. Pickens got hurt. He's going to be out for a 3rd straight game. And we got to rely on Van Jefferson to be the one. When what the Steelers should have done was be a little more aggressive in getting a receiver. And it's not a lack of trying. They definitely tried. They just didn't pull the trigger. They couldn't.
No.
They couldn't actually get that guy.
But ultimately, they finally settled for Mike Williams. The thing now is the coaching is not giving the man opportunities.
No, the personnel usage from Arthur Smith is very questionable, and it leaves you wondering. In limited snaps, you see what Mike Williams is doing, and you're wondering, why is this guy not getting more playing time? We traded a 5th for him. He won us that Commanders game.
He did.
Why is he not getting more playing time? We got Van Jefferson out there doing almost the bare minimum.
As the weeks progress, why is Williams not getting more opportunities?
Shouldn't you put your best bodies out there? Shouldn't you put your best ability out there?
Honestly, I don't get why Jefferson is getting more snaps or like, what's the reason being? Why? Because he had a full offseason, full OTAs, full training camp with this team, and a full 8 weeks before Williams came a part of this group?
Yeah.
But exactly how does that come into play with Jefferson's ability on the field? Like, Jefferson has been a non-factor for this team entirely, even when Pickens was here,
right,
when he was healthy. Jefferson just hasn't done anything. Not entirely.
No.
Williams, I get, like he's probably not going to be here for the long stretch. He's probably not going to be here next year, but neither is Van Jefferson. Keep that in mind. These two are nothing but rentals. These two are nothing but rentals at wide receiver. But the thing is, I'd rather get more out of Mike Williams, who the Steelers are investing a 5th-round pick for, than Van Jefferson, who's just here for the vet minimum, I imagine.
Well, you trade for him for a reason.
Yeah, not just for depth, not for depth. If they wanted to settle for depth purposes and 20 snaps less at max in games, they should have just signed a wide receiver at that point. You know what I'm saying?
But there was no one out there. And no, I don't want OBJ. I don't want OBJ.
Dude, Mike Williams is not getting playing time. What makes you think OBJ is going to get playing time?
Hard pass.
What sense does that make?
Hard pass.
I'm good.
Hard pass. Not even picking up the phone.
Dude, Mike, and listen, I'm not anticipating it. That's the sad part. I'm not anticipating it because if they haven't done it now, like, when are they going to do it? You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. If they haven't done it by now, what makes you think they're going to do it in the future? But the thing is, our argument is they should, because they need – this is the most important game of the season. You got to put your best bodies out there. Put your best players out there. Put your best foot forward. Offensively, you need to find a spark. You need to find a way to beat the Ravens secondary deep, because the Ravens secondary is statistically the worst in the league, or one of the worst in the league. They give up a lot of chunk plays. They give up a lot of yardage.
Dude, their passing defense statistically, they are 31st. The only team that's worse is the Jaguars. That's actually pretty terrible. Their secondary is not
You're up
good.
there with the Jaguars, bro. Like, come on.
Like, come on, like that's the one area you got to strike, but you got to get the best people involved.
So how can we find a way to exploit that secondary and to attack it and to make the most success possible on offense? Throw your best players out there.
Yeah.
Throw out the best deep ball shot that you got down there. Throw out the best 50-50 machine now that Pickens is out.
Yeah.
That is Mike Williams.
And you know what? Mike Williams, man, he is basically, when you look at his style, he is very George Pickens-esque, minus the agility and the ability of George Pickens. You know, he's not as athletic as him, of course, but when you look at Mike Williams and his ability to be a contested catcher for the 50-50 balls and just even as a deep threat to a degree, you know, Mike Williams can make those grabs. He can make those plays. He's done it time and time again throughout his NFL career.
Sure has.
Like, if you need a guy that can step up in that moment, fill that George Pickens void, and that's more than capable of making those plays, Mike Williams is your guy, not Van Jefferson.
No.
Absolutely not.
Mike Williams and Calvin Austin need to be the stars for this game because Calvin Austin has made plays down deep almost all season. I mean, he's just constantly making plays, dude. He's just a very reliable target, dude. He lacks build, he lacks size, but he's got speed, he's got the deep threat ability, and his hands are reliable. Like, there's very little plays I've seen this year where Russ or Fields has given him the chance and he's dropped it. When they give him the chance, he makes plays. Well, so does Mike Williams. There's only 2 receivers on this entire team that can catch the moon balls from Russ. That's Pickens, who's out, and Mike Williams. That's how you beat the Ravens. That's how you attack them. That's how you get points on the board. That's how you get down the field. That's how you exploit that awful secondary. You play those 2. Those should be your starters. And yeah, you gotta spread the ball around. You gotta feed Pat Fryermuth and Darnell Washington and guys like that. Yeah, sure. But when it comes to the wide receiver position, those should be the guys. It should be Williams and it should be Calvin Austin. They should be seeing the most reps out of all the wide receivers. Not to take anything away from Van Jefferson. He has made some good plays this year. He's gotten in the end zone a couple times this year. I don't want to take that away from him. But from the time he's played to the time Mike Williams has played, who do you think makes the most plays out of the time they have? Who do you think will give this offense the best chance at success against that secondary? It's not hard to answer.
That's the wide receivers that stick out the most.
So, Arthur Smith, we are begging you, SteelTwins Nation is begging you to feed Mike Williams more in this game. We need it. First of all, with Pickens out, that's already a big loss. Now, in a game like this, put your best foot forward. Put the best bodies out there possible. It's as simple as that. And yeah, we got Warren. We got Najee in the backfield. We got Patterson as well. We can spread the ball between those 3, you know, Arthur Smith has. But one thing I've noticed, maybe it's just me. I don't think Warren gets the ball enough. You know, Najee's having a good year. That fumble sucked, but he's having a good year. Is he a little slower? Is he a little less fast-paced? Yes. Is he a little sluggish? Yes, sure. But Warren, he should get more snaps. I don't know why he doesn't. This is a guy that does everything you ask him to. And Najee does the same thing. I just think Warren does it at a faster pace. He's a little more explosive. And I think he does some things better. He catches the ball better. He pass protects better. He hits the gaps. He finds the holes. He's just a lot faster. I think Warren needs more touches, more snaps, more playing time, especially. And this is one of the things I don't understand about the Steelers offense in general, and we've seen it the past couple of years. When someone is working, when the offense is working with someone in the ground game, whether that's Warren, whether that's Najee, whether that's Patterson, they take them off the field and then they go with the lower pace guy. For example, if Warren is on the field and he's getting the offense down the field and he's making plays and he's showing that burst and he's breaking tackles, he's getting yards after contact, right? Keep feeding him. Go with the hot hand.
Why would you step away from that? Why would you stop that momentum?
Exactly. Why would you stump any chance for that offense to get down the field more and potentially finish drives? And maybe for this game, for the first time this season, score a touchdown versus the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think those are the guys that they need to get involved with the absence of Pickens. Because Pickens had almost 90 yards versus the Ravens last time. GT! GT, always good to see you in the chat, man. How you doing, brother? Yo, Twins, bring me onto the stream via Discord. I got some takes for this game. Hashtag GT Hot Takes. Hashtag here we go, shows. Hashtag F the Rappers with a $4.99. GT, we appreciate that. Let's see if we can get Discord going here. I think Discord's updating.
It's updating.
Give us a minute.
Now it's updating?
I don't know. GT, give us a minute. Yeah, give us a minute. Yeah, while that's updates, yeah, the offense, man, they just got to get players involved more, man. They got to feed Warren more. They got to get Mike Williams involved. Like, those are the guys that you got to feed the ball to in the absence of Pickens.
Yeah.
He had almost 90 yards versus the Ravens last time. And quite frankly, him being out sucks. But in the same breath, this is Steelers versus Ravens, so it doesn't really matter who's out, who either team has at their disposal. This is just Steelers versus Ravens rivalry. It's always going to be close. It's always going to be competitive. And the Steelers always play the Ravens tough. The Ravens always play the Steelers tough. But lately, the Steelers have had the Ravens number.
Of course.
Very strong.
Again, you look at the numbers, the recent matchups. Yeah, the Steelers are the ones that have the numbers game against the Ravens, man. They always have their number, whatever it is. And that's what's going to have to be on their side. But it's something that they also can't rely on. You know what I'm saying? They can't rely on that. They just have to go in here and handle business.
Agreed.
They got to handle business. They got to try to knock off the Ravens right here just to clinch the division. But they got to do it in the proper manner. The way they went into Philly and their game plan and their management in that one, it just wasn't good enough. Simple as that.
Not that Warren is a chronic fumbler, but he fumbles more than Najee. I mean, most of his fumbles occur in the rain, but Warren has as many fumbles as Najee this year. So I'm going to throw that out there. Harris wants redemption. He's fueled all week, says Kittridge. You know what? I like that. I like that.
Well,
attitude.
you see Najee's face on the sideline. I mean, like, Fox was just showcasing it a lot during the broadcast. Like,
I mean,
Najee was really beating himself up on that one.
He probably still is. Because seeing the end result of last week, I'm sure he's very upset at himself.
No doubt he's ticked off about it because he felt like he let the entire team down, man, because that was a crucial turnover.
And we were driving so well on that drive, dude.
Yeah.
We were going down the field. We were making plays, that flea flicker, and then that just happened. Yeah, Najee's definitely going to play with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to play with a sense of, like you said, redemption. So I agree with that, kid. That's a very good point. And, the Steelers are going to give him the opportunity, I
mean, Najee's got a good history against the Ravens in general.
Sure does.
Always does.
So. He sure does, man. So I'm hoping for the best game for this team. I'm hoping for the best game forward for this offense. They need to be better. They got to start faster. 2 yards in the first half or the first quarter last week.
Inexcusable.
2 yards, bro. 2. What?
Yeah, that.
What is that?
That is something that's always been the common theme for the Steelers this entire season has been the slow starts. But 2 yards in the first quarter against Philly, that is just ridiculous.
That's abysmal.
That is inexcusable. Like, there is no reason why the Steelers can't go out there and start off hot. Am I expecting it? No, I'm not, because they haven't done it all season. Do they even have an opening drive touchdown this year?
I couldn't tell you. I would have to go back all the way. I'd have to check all the box scores.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to going up against great teams, in this case, the Ravens, they're still a great team. They're a very talented football team. You can't go up against these great teams starting off slow.
No.
Have the Steelers showcase that they're resilient, they can come from behind? Absolutely. The majority of their wins, they have come from behind.
In fact, one of them earlier this year was against the Ravens. Now it was a 1-point deficit, but still, Patrick Queen made that fumble. They got a field goal before the end of the first half, and the Ravens never got the lead back.
Yeah, so like, there's no denying that the Steelers are resilient. They can come from behind, but what about setting the tone? What about making a great first impression to the game, especially to a matchup like this?
But I'm not very much like the usage of Mike Williams in our prayers. Maybe they'll be answered, maybe not, probably not.
I'm not. But that's not going to stop you and me from preaching, like that this stuff needs to start happening.
Agreed. But without Pickens, man, it's going to be tough. But against the Ravens secondary that is very suspect, I feel like Russ, here's the thing with Russ, and here's the difference between Russ and a lot of other quarterbacks. He gives his guys the opportunity. He gives his guys the chance. He spreads the ball around.
Yeah.
He puts the ball in position for his players to make plays. And so far, players have made plays. Van Jefferson himself has made plays. Calvin Austin has definitely made plays. Mike Williams clearly has made plays with Russ. George Pickens made plays with Russ every game since Russ has been coming. So, I trust Russ to give these guys the opportunity. I think it relies on play calling, and it relies on the players themselves to execute.
Yeah.
They got to start faster. The personnel usage, the play calling for Arthur Smith has to be better. And yeah, Russ, he himself, I give him a lot of praise and I give him a lot of thanks for the season we're having, because without Russ, I don't think this offense is as good as it is right now, or what it could be, or what it has been in previous weeks, right? But Russ also has to be safe with the football.
Yeah. Protecting the ball, that's going to be key, because obviously that turnover last week, it hurt us badly.
It did. And the big thing about Steelers and Ravens is you got to win the turnover battle.
Yeah, big time. And that's what the Steelers did last time, and it's one of the reasons why they were able to escape with a victory, but they got to do it again.
Yeah. So they got to be safe with the football offensively, and the defense got to come and eat. They got to come to play. With Watt back, that's huge. His presence and what he brings to the table is irreplaceable. So having him, and he's fully healthy, that's great. Alex Highsmith, he'll be back for this game because he didn't play the last Ravens game. Having those two together is amazing. We have Nick Herbig. Maybe we see some 3 outside linebacker blitz packages. I think that'd be important, because
stellar, yeah.
we got to find a way to get as much pressure on Lamar as possible. That Ravens O-line all year has been a little inconsistent. They've stepped up the previous number of weeks. Lamar hasn't been sacked a lot this year, but they do give up pressure. They do commit a lot of penalties.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, because the Ravens actually in the NFL, they lead the NFL in penalties with a whopping 117.
117 penalties?
117 total penalties from that Ravens team. But here's a crazy thing, because I mentioned this in the last preview we did with the Ravens with the offensive line. They don't give up many sacks, but God, are they terrible with penalties.
And we saw that in the last one, too.
And they still are. Listen, out of 117 penalties from that Ravens team, 42 of those come from their starting offensive line alone.
Wow. And keep in mind, we're getting Highsmith for this game.
Yeah.
And Watt.
So,
and Herbig. And we're going to have all of our linebackers healthy and ready to go to try to limit and slow down Henry and get as much into Lamar as we can.
So I think that's going to have to be a part of the Steelers' game plan. I think they're going to have to really try to take advantage of that, just to slow down that Ravens offense even more.
It's all about exploiting the Ravens' weaknesses, which is the O-line and the penalties they commit. And not just the O-line, but clearly, you said only 42 of them was from the O-line.
The starting O-line.
Imagine where the other however many are.
I know that comes from that defense, especially. The holdings, the pass interferences.
Where are the other 75 penalties?
All over that team, let me tell you that.
They are so undisciplined.
Badly.
So undisciplined. It's all about exploiting their weaknesses. So force them to make mistakes, force them to commit penalties or whatnot. You got to attack that secondary. This is going to be a big, crucial game for the Steelers, and I'd say even Steelers coaching, man. The coaching is going to have to step up in this one and allowing players to be put in the right position and allowing guys to make plays. It's up to Arthur Smith to use right personnel. It's up to Terrell Austin to figure out how he's going to be able to slow down Henry or use Minka in the box and have the absence of Elliott again, most likely. Is he gonna blitz Lamar more? I would love that. Let's blitz Beanie a little bit more. Let's blitz Patrick Queen. Let's blitz Atlanta Roberts, Peyton Wilson. Like, we got the guys to get to Lamar, man. We got the guys to make plays in the secondary and to kind of mask some of the errors or the coverage problems in the secondary. It's up to Terrell Austin to get a little creative and stop being basic.
Yeah. Yeah, the soft zone, the soft defense right here, especially from that secondary, man, it's just hurting. It's hurting the defense.
Well, I just don't understand.
It's just so bad, dude, because like the defense, the secondary just letting up so many plays. It could be 2nd and 36 and they allow a first down. That's just how bad it's been the past number of weeks.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
I don't know why our corners are just so soft or lazy.
Especially JPJ, man. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on, because he was never this bad in his rookie season. The man was pure lockdown.
And I still think he has the potential to be a cornerback one.
Man, I still think of the world of him. I do.
Yeah, I mean, until, I'm still going to believe in JPJ. I'm not going to label him a bust or a failure. It's his second year. He's going through a sophomore slump a little bit, for sure. I'm still going to put my trust and faith in him. I believe he's still going to be put in the right direction. And keep in mind, man, the game that he first made his big play ever was against the Ravens last year on OBJ.
In the end zone, man. Who can forget that?
So what better game to redeem yourself after several number of weeks of shitting the bed, not swear jar, than against the Ravens?
No, I hope so, man. I mean, like, maybe it is a sophomore slump type of year for JPJ. Sometimes it happens to these types of players. It's one of those things that can happen. But I mean, that I'm still not going to excuse JPJ for the play that he's been playing and what he's been allowing. It's just inexcusable.
Right.
Especially for a guy that, you think so highly of him with such high pedigree, man. He's got that Steeler bloodline in him. This guy's a legit Steeler through and through. He's just not playing it as of recently, but he needs to start stepping up right now.
Agreed. And I'm hoping he does. I'm hoping all that doesn't get to his head.
If you're not down with that,
GT show.
we've got 2 words for
How are
you.
we feeling about Hard Knocks? I haven't watched a single episode.
GT, thanks for the 2. No, I haven't seen an episode yet, bro. I haven't
had the time.
I've seen clips of episodes. I just haven't sat down and really watched it yet.
No, the past 3 weeks. Was it 3 episodes in now? The 3 episodes?
What did it start? December? The beginning of the month?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think it was 3 weeks ago. Is it episode 3 now, guys? I haven't watched a single episode.
Well, you know that they're really going to be filming, God knows what behind the scenes with this matchup here.
I'll tell you what.
You know damn sure for both teams at that.
I haven't watched a single episode, but I will be watching next episode. I will find time, especially with the holiday next week. I will.
Yeah,
we'll finally
have free time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this time of year is just busy on our part, bro. But
oh man, yeah.
But yeah, next week I will be watching. I don't know when does it come out? Tuesdays, Wednesdays?
I think it's Tuesdays, right?
It might be.
Yeah.
Y'all
Gotta be.
Y'all have to listen to chat because I'm not 100% certain. But all I hear is good things about it. I hear it's one of the best Hard Knock seasons of all time or whatnot, or how
Of the series.
this whole division thing is a good direction for Hard Knocks rather than just pondering on one single team. They're now doing a whole division around the most important time of the season. So
Yeah, it's something that they have. I don't think they ever did before because I never seen one episode of Hard Knocks. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Me neither.
but I believe the division, landscape, looking into all 4 teams. I think it's the first time they've actually been doing it, which I feel like that they should honestly do more often.
right.
So
I don't know, man.
and starting off with the AFC North, man, you can't get better than that.
Absolutely not, bro. It's AFC North football. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect, man?
Yeah.
But but this game, this is just an important matchup for the Steelers, dude. This is very important. Steelers got to come in. They got to put their best foot forward again. Throw out, I don't want to say throw all your eggs in one basket, but you got to almost lay it all on the line here, bro. Like, this is for the division. This is to clinch the AFC North. This is to clinch potentially the number 3 seed. I mean, higher seedings are possible with the Bills and the Chiefs, and especially with the Chiefs going for the Steelers. There's a chance that the Steelers could get a higher seeding, but they will most likely be locked at number 3 if they do win the AFC North.
Yeah.
And that's a great seed because that will give us home field advantage for at least the first playoff game. And if we go beyond that, that's even more perfect. So the Steelers, they got to get back in the win column. They got to win this game. They got to beat the Ravens. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how ugly it might be. I don't care how disgusting of a win it could be. First of all, it's Steelers versus Ravens. So it's expected. But at the same time, any way you can beat the Ravens, any way you can come out with a victory is a great win versus the Ravens always.
Yep.
But this is just a little more sweeter because with the division on the line here, how do the Steelers go into this game and not wanting to just, first of all, redeem themselves from last week, but really get a victory here? Like, they know how important this is. And the fact we got proper leadership in the locker room now, everyone's going to be rallied. Everyone's going to be fired up. Everyone's going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder. Everyone's going to want to play to the best of their ability.
Yeah, I mean, this is a matchup right here with the stakes on the line. This is something that this team, and Mike Tomlin at that, is no stranger to. They have prepared for matchups like this beforehand, especially with a team like the Ravens that they are extremely familiar with. But I could say the same thing about the Ravens. That's just what's just going to make this matchup even more enticing and much more must-see. Whether you're a Steelers fan, a Ravens fan, or an NFL fan in general, man, this is obviously one of the biggest rivalries to tune into if you're an NFL fan. It's the best rivalry in football.
And the fact that
arguably in sports, like I would make that argument. I don't think any rivalry tops anything else other than Steelers and Ravens. I think it's probably the best rivalry in all of sports.
Yeah, nothing tops it. Nothing tops it, bro. And with the stakes on the line here, it's not like the last game of the season, but I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like it.
Prepare for it like it is. Prepare for it like it's your season on the line, essentially. Prepare like it is the last game of the season.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it because, I mean, Steelers-Ravens, like, this is a matchup that you would probably anticipate to be the last game of the season. Sometimes that has happened when the NFL has made, some scheduling.
Sure have.
So, but prepare it the same way.
Yeah.
Prepare it like it is.
It's just, to me, like, I get this game, I get a real big, important feel with this game. Like, it just comes off as if, like, it almost comes off as if it's a playoff game. And the weird thing is, this might not be the last Steelers versus Ravens game.
Might not be.
There's a chance both teams make the playoffs and we see them for a third time. I don't want to rule anything out.
And listen, it would not be the first time.
It would not.
It's a huge possibility. It really is.
No. So, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there.
And that's on if, like how the Ravens schedule goes on for the rest of the season. But, I'm sure the Steelers still want to try to, rain on the Ravens parade of trying to make it into the postseason.
Oh, absolutely.
Or lessen their chances, I should say.
I mean, no better team to do that to the Ravens than the Steelers, right? And it's not the first time either, bro. Won't be the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 100th time either.
Nope.
So what better time than Saturday evening into Saturday night in Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium, in enemy territory? Tell me the Steelers aren't going to go into this game and wanting to beat their rival, their biggest rival, and sweep them for a second straight year? You're telling me the Steelers aren't going to go in with just a sense of ambition and a sense of desire to just clinch this division? Like, it'd be a lot easier if they just win this game rather than losing and having to win out.
And, hope for the other teams around the conference to aid in the Steelers.
Right.
How many times have we had to settle for that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we had to settle for Denver to get us into the postseason, for God's sake, for us to clinch a playoff berth because the Steelers couldn't handle business on the road in Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just moving forward, you got 3 games left. They're all AFC. You got the Ravens, you got the Chiefs, and you got the Bengals, but take it one game at a time and just control your own destiny at this point.
Yeah.
And it starts in Baltimore.
Chargers did just win.
Yeah, they did. Chargers won. They
both the Broncos and Chargers are 9-6. If the Ravens lose, they're 9-6. So who would get the 6th or 7th seed?
That would just make the wild card seed a lot more must see, a lot more enticing because I think there's still 3 playoff wild card spots left open.
Well, I know. The Colts and the Dolphins and the Bengals are asking for a lot, and I don't think any of them are getting it.
Yeah. Really.
So it's going to be. Well, shit. As a matter of fact, yeah. So as it stands right now, the Ravens are the 5, the Broncos are the 6, and the Chargers are the 7. But I think the Chargers and the Broncos are going to swap because the Chargers beat the Broncos.
If you're not down with that,
I got you, DT. Give me a minute. I'm trying to look at the playoff scenarios here. So if the Ravens win, they're 10-5. That puts us at 10-5.
Mm-hmm.
Would the Steelers still have the upper hand? Would they still technically have the lead
and the division? Because we're what? Are we still 2 games? Still a 2-game lead, or is it just 1?
It's just 1.
Just 1? No, because I think if Baltimore wins, they now take first place, right? But the division wouldn't be out of reach for the Steelers either. They just got to hope that the Ravens
wouldn't
lose.
the Steelers still be in the lead because they have the better conference record?
Does that play into a factor?
The division record's still the same. So say the Ravens win, their division record is 3-2, and our division record is 3-2.
Right.
But we would have a 7-3 conference record compared to the Ravens 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
And and we're talking if the Ravens win. Just looking at it as a standpoint, if the Ravens win, what are the Steelers scenarios? Won't the Steelers still be in the lead?
It might be. I'm not sure. You think though, right?
I think. Because of the conference record.
I'm not entirely sure. Don't
I'd
much
much rather not worry about it and just win the fucking game.
Yeah, just get the
and
dub.
win the division.
Just get the dub, bro.
That's what I most prefer, if I'm being honest with you. That's what I would most prefer.
Just get the dub. It's a lot easier said than done at that, but I mean the Steelers did it earlier, and they've done it 4 straight times in Baltimore, so I mean it seems like they have the answer sheet for it. They have the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
They have the cheat sheet going against Lamar Jackson, so it's just like they can do it. They just got to do it one more time this year. They got to get her done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, not having Caston says, I don't know, man. Not having Pickens again has me worried for our offense. I think you have to target the tight ends because our receivers are garbage without Pickens. I don't disagree.
The thing is, Smith's got to scheme up a concept to get the tight ends involved. And it's not like he has. I just feel like he hasn't done it consistently. Though I will say, utilizing Muth in the red zone when they're down there is definitely key right here. Because what is it, 3 straight games for Muth? He's had a touchdown in the red zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to keep that up.
Yeah, Muth has had 3 straight games with a touchdown. And Russ needs some dependable receivers. And those dependable receivers is not named Van Jefferson. You got to throw Mike Williams out there.
Yeah, you do.
Like, Mike Williams might not be the biggest upgrade. He may not be
I'm not
phenomenal.
I'm not saying he's going to light the league on fire. All I'm saying is, like, I feel he's a better option than Van Jefferson, so get your best guys out there.
He's better,
just like Dan stated.
He's better than Van Jefferson, and you got to give Russ something to work with. Because when Russ has Pickens, Russ just feels a lot more comfortable. When Pickens isn't out there, clearly, there's just some issues there, as we've seen. But I still think the offense is going to keep it a little competitive. We all know that this game is going to be close. It's going to be tight. Very defensive, very gritty. You know how these games go. Probably going to come down to a field goal. It's going to come down to Boz or Tucker. Maybe Tucker has another one of his washed moments just for shits and giggles and laughs.
Yeah, that was a real fun time watching that against the Steelers-Ravens last time. Like you mentioned, the Steelers won against the Ravens, and I don't think they scored a touchdown. It was all Chris Boswell on that one.
Yeah.
6 for 6. Well, or Tucker, I should say. Yeah, he kind of looked like old man Tucker out there. Kind of struggled.
Yeah.
So
conference record will come into play with the Bills. We need an effing break. Well, the Bills, man. What's their conference record? Let me get a look here. The Bills' conference record is.
Well, they're what, 12-1 right now?
They're 11-3.
11. Oh, geez, my bad.
Yeah, and their conference record is 8-1. No, I'm sorry, that's the Chiefs. The Bills' conference record is 7-2.
Okay.
The Steelers' conference record is 7-2. The Bills, the rest of their games are against the Patriots, the Jets, and the Patriots again, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it might be,
come on.
Or vice versa. Either way, all I know is the rest of their games are against 2 of the worst players or 2 of the worst teams in their division.
I call a clean sweep if I am Buffalo.
So, the best chance, I don't think Buffalo's going to lose one of those games. It's divisional football. Divisional football hasn't been this competitive in many years.
Yeah, but the Jets are awful, and the Patriots, I mean, like, they're just trying to see what they got left.
So what we're hoping on is the Steelers win this game, right? That would make their record 8-2 in the conference, and obviously they clinch the division. We would need the Chiefs to lose to the Texans, and we would need the Steelers to beat the Chiefs on Christmas. That would knock the Chiefs 8-1 down to an 8-3, and because the Bills and the Steelers and the Texans all beat them, that would put the Chiefs down to the number 3 seed. Put them out of home field advantage in a first round bye.
Yeah.
The Bills would get the first round bye, I think.
You know they're vying for that.
But the Steelers
you know Buffalo wants that.
But the Steelers would get the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
So if the Bills win out, and what I just stated about the Chiefs losing to the Texans and the Steelers, the Bills would be the number 1 seed. The Steelers would be the number 2. The Chiefs would be the number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a pipe dream? Yes. Is it possible? I'm going to believe myself into thinking it is. Yes.
Do I see it all happening? That's yet to be determined.
Well, I think the Texans still have a lot to fight for. They're fighting for a higher seed.
I believe they already clinched their division, though that division's ass. So it's like no brainer. Texans are going to win that division. You knew it coming into the regular season, but no, I mean they still got a lot left to fight for. You know they want a higher seeding.
Listen, I'm going to sound like a fool for saying this. Maybe there's a chance the Chiefs lose out.
I mean, they're vulnerable.
The Texans got something to fight for. The Steelers could upset them. And the Broncos are obviously still fighting for a playoff spot.
Right.
And they're in division.
I mean, those three teams, I mean, they all have something to fight for as the season comes to an end.
But we're also talking about the Chiefs losing 3 straight. When the hell was the last time that ever happened?
Yeah, they're working on a three-peat. That
Let's
wouldn't look good if they were to lose 3 straight.
let's not get too crazy.
No,
Let's not get too overwhelmed by fantasies
Yeah,
here.
it's Pat Mahomes with his injured ankle.
But a part of me wants to believe the Texans and the Steelers have a chance of beating the Chiefs. And that's knocking them out of the first seed. Maybe. I'd be comfortable with the Bills getting number 1, not the Chiefs. Been there, done that, seen it too many times. No.
Still vulnerable, though.
Chiefs are very vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Steelers are invincible because they're not. They're not at all.
Obviously.
not at all.
We know that.
But you know what they say, man. Any given Sunday. But it's one thing at a time. I just like to throw that out there to keep in the back of your mind because the Chiefs play before us, and maybe there's just a chance that happens. Maybe there's a chance that happens. But the Steelers, man, in order for that to happen, they would have to win out. But first things first, the Ravens are in our way, and they're in our way in life. They're in our way of the AFC North division. We got one mission on Saturday. We got one job. We got one goal. That is to execute. That is to kill. That is to win the AFC North Conference or division.
Yeah, if they beat the Ravens, they will clinch the division on Saturday.
How do the Chiefs keep winning? I don't know. Rolando, I don't know.
What do people call it? Dark magic, devil magic, whatever.
Voodoo magic.
Voodoo magic, yeah. And the rest.
We're talking about Chief Voodoo Magic. Yeah, the rest. Chief Voodoo Magic and Tomlin Voodoo Magic. Tomlin's one of the winningest head coaches in one-score games, and the Chiefs have won the most one-score games all season.
Yep.
It's like two colliders or wrecking balls colliding.
Yeah.
But which one is gonna crumble the most? Which one's gonna break in half first?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mount Washington versus a 5'9" corner. It's over.
Dude.
It's over.
Dude, forget about it.
It's over.
Forget about it.
It's over.
You see that mismatch, man. You're throwing up the ball every time.
You need to spam more toss plays. Vintage Vice. I would not encourage that. No more toss plays.
Can we please just stop doing toss plays? That needs to be.
How hard is it just to
That
hand
play
the ball
needs to
off?
be that play needs to be gone from the playbook permanently.
How hard is it to just hand the ball off?
I feel like we need to get an exterminator to get into that playbook just to get rid of it. That's how infested that play is on Arthur Smith's playbook, bro. It's just ridiculous.
It's toxic. It's toxic. That's what.
It doesn't even matter who the back is. It could be Najee, it could be Warren, it could be Patterson. It's just, hey, let's do a toss. Those don't work. They never work.
No.
Not today.
No. We can't start slow like against the Eagles. Need to apply pressure early and especially score off turnovers. 100%. Casting the 100%. They can't be getting no 2 yards in the first quarter. They can't be getting no 3 points off of 2 fumbles. In fact, that was a failure from the start in that game, wasn't it?
It was. That really set the tone.
Looking back at it, yeah.
And then you look at the second half, man. They only had the ball for 2 possessions. I don't think they even had it for 7 minutes in total. I don't think so, right?
Right.
The Eagles, man, they had the ball at like 10 minutes, 29 seconds left, and they just ended the game just like that.
Right.
They seen the time like, yeah, we're not getting these
10
people.
10 and a half minutes.
We're not giving these people the ball anymore.
Eagles loaded the box with 6 people. We had to run toss plays. They could have ran some play action.
I mean, there you go. What do you mean they had to run the toss? No, they didn't.
Run more play action on first down. Take it to Washington on a deep corner. Washington running a corner route? Arthur Smith, what are you on? I wish.
What did he grab while he was in Philly?
I wish. That'd be kind of cool, actually. I would. No, because they tested that in preseason or not preseason, training camp, and whatever happens in training camp doesn't transition most days. But that'd be cool. Washington on a corner route. He's not the most fluent route runner, but you're not asking him to run the most fluent route either.
No.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, we catch the Ravens off guard, especially with that exposed secondary.
So
Could be something, be one of those tricks up his sleeve if he still has them.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. It's up to Arthur Smith to see what's gonna happen. For you guys though, who do you guys think's gonna have to win this game? In fact, let me put that poll in the chat for you.
Yeah, put it in there.
Let me update it here. Typo, my fault. There we go.
Make sure it's written right.
I know. I type fast and I never look. I never
No, you
double-check.
don't. No, you don't.
bad
You
habit.
leave a letter out, or you
Bad
put a
habit of
letter
mine.
in front of the other one, whatnot.
There's a poll in the chat for you guys. Who has to win this game for the Steelers? Offense or defense? I'm going defense because, I mean, it's Steelers versus Ravens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they got a big test ahead of them. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson leading the way with the #1 offense and whatnot. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I just don't know. Mike Williams on the deep corner. I mean, you do anything. You can have him run a straight go and just moonball it, bro. Like, come on.
Watch them use Scotty Miller in that play.
I mean, Scotty made a play versus the Browns
He
with
did.
it, so I'm not going to
I'm
hate
not
it.
taking anything away from Scotty. It's just like,
Scotty's a deep threat. Why don't we try to get some deep shots with him going? I know he's not the most.
you know, Tom Brady's going to be in the booth broadcasting. Maybe get his input, you know? Like, he was teammates with Scotty. Scotty helped him win a Super Bowl, for God's sake.
Line him up beside,
it
line
wouldn't-
him up beside Russ and have him run a real route. Do that with Calvin.
Wouldn't hurt to talk to Tom Brady about it. He's familiar with Scotty.
Does he not know the wheel route? I mean, you put Calvin in the backfield. You have him run a real route. Who's covering him? Either going to be the linebacker or it's going to be the safety. But the speed is going to beat him.
Yeah, their safeties aren't fast.
You
either.
want to blanket? You want to blanket the safety?
We've got two
Eddie
words
T.
for you.
Shout out to Eddie T, man, with a 4.99. I really wish Jalen Warren was used more, but I feel like Najee complains about his touches. Let's use Scotty in middle. He's fast and has a ring. I agree. I agree with all that. I ranted about it just earlier. Warren needs more touches. I don't know why he doesn't. I feel like he's our least used.
Less Patterson, especially in certain circumstances when you have to try to come back in deficits like they were last week against Philly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you've seen Patterson in there. It's like, why the hell is Cordell Patterson in there when that is best used for Warren?
I don't know.
Again,
I
the
think
player usage and the utilization
If you're
by
not
Arthur
down
Smith
with that,
is so
we've got
questioning.
2 words
GT
for you.
199. Any of our wide receivers were quarterbacks in college. Just saying.
No, we don't have a former quarterback. No.
I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so.
No.
No.
Mike Williams didn't. Van Jefferson didn't.
No.
Pickens is out. He didn't, regardless.
No.
No.
That's kind of odd to me. Typically, the Steelers always have a receiver that at least played quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
Who was the last wide receiver to throw a touchdown for the Steelers? I know the answer.
You know the answer?
I know the
Well,
answer.
then what is it?
I want the chat to see. I know exactly. Guys,
Well,
who was the last wide receiver to throw a touchdown pass for the Steelers?
Well, I'll tell you right now, the one that comes off the top of my head is Lance Moore. No, it was AB. It was AB. I get that confused.
No,
it was
AB threw it to Lance
yeah,
Moore.
AB threw. I was thinking
But
Lance
you're
Moore
wrong.
threw it.
You're wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
It was Chase Claypool versus the Eagles. Derek Watt. The last time we faced the Eagles before Sunday, Chase Claypool threw a touchdown to Derek Watt. That was the only touchdown we scored in that game.
Yeah, keep in mind, Chase Claypool threw a touchdown pass and not Kenny Pickett in that game. Okay, I'm done.
You're not wrong.
I'm done.
But yes, Antonio Brown threw a touchdown to Lance Moore in 2014 Monday night versus the Texans. I
Yeah.
remember that game. I remember that game like the back of my hand, bro. Like it was yesterday. Brett Kiesel got an interception. AB throws a touchdown. A couple plays after. Shout to the beard, by the way.
Yeah, good old 99.
I might wear my Bumblebee on Saturday. I don't know. I haven't worn my Bumblebee in a minute. I might wear my Bumblebee. It's gonna be nasty, but I like it.
Yeah, no, the Bumblebees are a little controversial with some fans.
I like the Bumblebee.
I still think they're fine.
That's just me. Juju did Juju ever throw a touchdown?
No, he never did.
Got a return touchdown. That's all I know.
He scored against the Browns. I know that.
Yeah, a couple times actually.
Yeah.
Some things never change. Good for Juju.
Personally, I like Randall L's better. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Randall L did add quite a bit.
Randall L was a dog. Randall was a dog. Now isn't he a wide receiver coach for the Lions?
Yes, he is.
I'm jealous.
If you piss him off, he'll give you the dad finger.
I am so jealous. Damn. I wish Randall L was our wide receiver coach.
I know.
Could he also be a quarterback coach?
No.
Maybe special teams coordinator.
No.
He's a man. He's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no denying that, but no, like
Jack of all
Campbell's
trades.
got him at wide receiver. He's gonna keep him there.
All right, I got another Steelers question for you. Who? I don't know if he was the only quarterback, but as far as I know, who's the only Steelers quarterback to score a touchdown for the Steelers in team history? Do you know?
No,
I know.
no, who?
I know. I forget what year it was, but let's just say he had the longest play in Steelers history before Mike Evans. God, I wish.
Mike
Wallace broke it. Let's see if someone in the chat knows that. Yep, there you go. Mark Malone. Dang, you guys are smart.
Mark Malone.
Yeah. It was like a 90-yard touchdown or something back in the 90s.
What?
Yup.
Mark Malone?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of hard to believe. All
No,
right.
it happened. I forget what year it was. It was like a 90-yard touchdown. Mark Malone.
Who the hell caught that pass? Do you know that?
If you're not
Mark
down
Malone.
with that, we've got
Oh,
two words
my
for
bad.
you.
Eddie T with a $4.99. Let's just ignore that last comment. Eddie T with a $4.99. Warren is an updated running back. Cordell is a faster Najee. Najee tries too hard to be Warren. Glad Pickens is out so that the other receivers can work with Russ.
Yeah. Because Calvin with Russ has been great success. Hopefully get Mike Williams involved more. I can't say Van Jefferson hasn't found success. It's just not as consistent as Calvin. It's not as rapid as I would hope of Mike Williams. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. With Warren, to me, he just feels like our least used running back. I don't know why. He's our best running back. He's our most explosive. Like, most of the time when he's on the field, good things happen. He can do everything you ask him to. Never understood that.
And we still don't
That
see
was the
enough
80s?
Warren. Yeah, dude. Yes, it was the 80s. I imagine it was the 80s. It wasn't the 90s. Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
that's right. Malone didn't play in the 90s.
No,
My
Malone
fault.
was the 80s quarterback.
But yeah, Malone didn't play in the 90s. My fault.
No. Oh, the only 90s quarterback that I know is Neil O'Donnell and Slash.
As far as I know.
As far as I know, yeah. No, Malone was the 80s quarterback for the Steelers.
Hold on, wasn't Tomziak No, Tomziak was a quarterback for the Steelers in the 90s. Yeah, it was Tomziak. Mike Tomziak. He was like one of the worst quarterbacks in Steelers history. Now, this is before our time, but...
Mike Tomzak? No, I thought he was a 70s guy.
Oh, it was 90s.
I thought he was a 70s backup.
The 70s guy was Bradshaw.
No, Bradshaw. I mean, the backup. I'm talking about the backup.
No.
Who was the backup to Bradshaw? Hold on. Now I'm starting to question. Who was the backup? Oh, it was Joe Gillum.
Yes.
Joe Gillum. But there was another guy. Was that Tomzak?
No.
It wasn't?
Tomziak was 90s, bro.
Was he?
Yes. Chat, can you confirm?
No, Joe Gillum was the back. But there was a third person. I can't remember.
Bobby Brister?
No. Hey, you know what? I'm about to search this son of a bitch up.
I mean, the internet has all the world's information right at your disposal.
No, because I remember reading about, that situation with Bradshaw and Gillum and whatnot, but no, I could have sworn that there was a third quarterback.
No, I think we had Brister, Tomziak, Neal, and Slash in the 90s. And maybe it was someone else I'm forgetting.
Give me a minute. Hold on.
I might be forgetting one or two, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, never mind. It was Terry Hanratty.
Who?
Terry Hanratty.
Huh?
Yeah. That's who I confused. Yeah, my bad. He was a second-round pick in 1969.
Nice.
Yeah, he was the backup.
So he was drafted the same year as Joe Green.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He just, there's a reason why he was a backup.
Cliff Stout.
Now I
Oh,
remember.
no, I forgot about that one. Oh, no.
Now I remember.
What's he doing nowadays?
Yeah, because Bradshaw was the guy. Then he stuck on the joint. They went with Gillum. Then he wasn't doing good. Then I think they went to Hanratty, and then then they went to Bradshaw, and the rest is history. So
Nice.
yeah. So that's what it was. Hold on, Tomzak. Hold on, wait, Mike. What was his name? Mike Tomzak.
Tomziak.
Tomziak.
Tom and
I got it.
C-Z-A-K.
I know how to spell. He's actually an assistant coach right now. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, 93 to 99. Okay.
Told you it was like mid-90s.
Okay.
You got any other trivia questions for the chat? Maybe Steelers versus Ravens.
Well, I had to think about it. Off the top of my head, no, I can't think of anything. No.
Really?
No. Believe it or not, no.
You can't think of anything from the
Oh,
Steelers versus
look, but
Ravens
it's not like I'm not trying. I'm really trying to dig through right now.
You can't think of anything from
Well,
the Steelers
dude,
versus
I am
Ravens.
trying. I just told you. I'm trying. Hold on. Nope. Can't think of anything. Who's the worst Steelers quarterback ever? Kenny Pickett.
Well, from my viewing, from my eyeballs, Kenny Pickett. No. Mitch.
Huh?
They're not far off, but Mitch. The last time the Ravens beat us was because of Mitch Trubisky.
Down with that, we've got
Yeah.
new words for you.
I got an easy Pitt versus Baltimore trivia question. What's your trivia question? I gotta hear this. Is this?
Brian St. Pierre. Hold on. Wasn't he a Raven too? Or was he a Cardinal? I think it was both.
Why is that right? Why is that
Brian
name
St.
ringing
He was a
a bell?
backup to Ben and Batch. He was a third string, but he never played at all. Brian St. Pierre.
Oh, him.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah. It took me a minute.
I think he threw like maybe 2 passes in his career.
that took me a minute.
Yeah.
All right, GT. I'm gonna get you on just to see what your trivia question is, and you gotta give us one really hot take. It could be bold prediction, could be a whatever for this game. You gotta give us a trivia question and a super hot take. See if I can get him on the phone here.
Not really phone.
What headphone?
Hello.
Hello.
GT.
What's up?
Do you not have your headphone on, Rob?
Oh, it's back there? Bro, like, I don't even know where my stuff is. My lord. My bad.
All right, GT, let's hear it. What is your trivia question? Chat, feel free to get in your answers.
Easiest trivia question of all time.
Okay. All right. I'm ready for it.
Back in 2008 in the playoffs, right? Who was the player to intercept Joe Flacco that sent us to a Super Bowl?
Oh,
Easiest trivia question.
I forget his name. Was it someone with long hair? Was it like what was his name? He wore such an
Only my
iconic
favorite
number.
player of
What
all
was his
time,
name? I
Rob.
forget.
I don't know. I don't know. Dude. He's my favorite player of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Who's that?
He's my favorite player.
Come on,
of
you
all
know.
time.
I don't know what you're talking about. Isn't he a Hall of Famer or something? Maybe we heard him in the
You know,
intro
like,
earlier.
he's never not working, you know?
Isn't he doing Head and Shoulders commercials with Pat Mahomes or something?
Yeah.
What's his name?
He's
again?
doing a commercial with The Rock, too, the final boss.
Ironically, his number is the same Super Bowl that we actually won.
Yeah, the last one we won. What was it? 43.
Oh, it was Palomalu, says the chat. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I know it. I think I know that guy. I
Yeah.
think it's that tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're pretty easy. You're pretty easy. No.
All right, now what's your hot take or bold prediction, whatever you want to go for?
Well, I kind of said one of them, right? Which was, George. It's not George Washington. No.
George Washington, yeah, hold up. Listen, I like history more than the next guy, but like,
Bring him back. No, was I almost said James Washington. That's a throwback.
oh my God.
Darnell Washington. Running the corner route. But I mean, I think we just gotta, run a lot more play action. Utilize our wide receivers. Utilize Mike Williams. Because they decide. I don't know what they're saving him for the playoffs. Like,
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're already in it, so perhaps, maybe, fingers crossed. Probably not.
no, I'd like to see more Mike Williams. I mean, we traded what I mean, I don't know what we traded for him, but if he's just gonna sit on the bench, what was the purpose?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Especially when Pickens
You
is
know,
out. I mean, hopefully we see him this
Throw
Sunday.
him the deep ball. All right, utilize the deep ball.
I would
I
hope so.
trust Russ. Russ deep ball isn't bad right now.
Russ is one of the
It's not
best
as
deep
washed
balls
as
in the
people
entire
think.
league.
He's not as washed as people say he is.
Not at all. Not at all. I didn't expect
He's
this
not
from
Aaron
Russ.
Rodgers.
No, he's not Aaron Rodgers. No. No, definitely not.
But,
Trivia question: how many times have the Steelers and Cowboys played each other on Monday Night Football? I'm gonna go once.
I'm gonna go like 3.
None?
Because I feel like
Did they play a Monday night game?
I couldn't.
Ever?
when was the last? Well, when did Monday night start? When did they start doing Monday night games? Back in the 90s, right?
Late 80s, 90s. I know
Yeah.
the previous game we had on Sunday night, that was the first time they played on Sunday night. I think it was.
That's crazy.
I can't tell you, bro. I'm gonna search it.
I want to say 3.
Bro,
I'm
you're
saying 3.
cheating. You're cheating.
Well,
He needs to figure out the answer.
who has the answer? Someone has the answer.
I'm saying 3.
You heard people are predicting LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey 6'2" to the Steelers since he declared. I would love that, but I want to sign a veteran. I want to go out and get a proven talent.
Yeah, seriously, just sign a guy.
I'd much rather do that. I mean, I would love Lacey. Receiver's going to be stacked this year, but I would much rather sign somebody.
I want us to get a receiver in the free agency, but I also wouldn't mind doing a drafting one as well.
I'd much rather go corner. We need it.
I mean, we can do both, can't we?
We could, but you got to throw in maybe D-line. You got to throw in perhaps.
I mean, the Steelers have always been known for drafting wide receivers in like the late rounds and making them great players. So
that's fair. But outside of Pickens and Calvin, who's been a constant solid wide receiver for the Steelers in the past 4 years?
4 years. I mean, Deontay was decent.
Who?
Deontay.
Who's that?
Dropson?
Well, like 4 years ago when he had Big Ben and Juju was on this team.
Isn't he?
But now he's kind of mid.
He's been excused from the Ravens this week.
Yeah, so no Deontay Johnson.
Which I find that very funny.
Hey, I mean, he's their problem now, right? All right.
I don't miss him.
I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
All we can do is point and laugh, all right?
Not once this season did I say, "Oh man, I really miss Deontay Johnson. I wish we didn't trade him." Not once did I say that.
The only thing I've really missed is the fact that we don't have wide receiver 2, but the fact that hopefully Mike Williams will become our wide receiver 2, but they decided not to use him. So
just with his usage,
he's only had one good play.
With his usage, I mean, like they were better off just signing someone off the practice squad at this point. Like if they're not going to use him, they're not going to give him the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
What free agent wide receivers are out there right now? Oh, let's see.
OBJ, that's it, and hard pass. There's no one, bro. There's nobody.
No. Hunter Renfrow.
So, I mean, Hunter Renfrow. Wide receiver 2, Hunter Renfrow.
How would you win?
I know those white boys know how to run good out routes. All right, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, you don't have to go there.
He's not wrong. No, Renfrow.
Uh,
But why hasn't he been signed by anybody else? Like you figured the Chiefs would kind of want to explore
isn't
that.
he like injury prone? Isn't he that why? Isn't he also like old?
I don't think he's old.
He's a little older.
He's always Mr. Reliable for the Raiders, but like I don't know. Maybe he's taking a break from football. I don't know.
Want some money or something?
Maybe it's his decision. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to step away from football. I don't know. Digital Dust says T. Higgins. That's your guy.
I've been banging the table for T. Higgins for fucking months.
Now, did you hear the report that the Patriots are going to try to go all in on T. Higgins?
The Patriots can fuck off.
They can, but they're ruining another career.
I want
shame.
I want T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, or the rumored Garrett Wilson, but preferably the first two. If you want bully football, if you want 50-50 gods, if you want
Higgins would fit the AFC North football, yes.
Yes,
he's already playing AFC North football, so
if you want bully ball, go get Higgins. If you want a more pristine or crisp route runner with some leadership, get Chris Godwin. Either's fine with me.
If you just want a young guy, you just go get Garrett Wilson. I mean, draft a rookie.
Or draft a rookie. Either's fine. I mean,
if you want to, in which case I would go with Ibuka from OSU.
The Bengals don't have to give him to a division rival if he walks. They're not paying him.
No.
They're not paying him.
No, he did a business decision that he signed a franchise tag and he was just going to play for the season. and then he was gonna move on from there.
Okay, so the correct answer was 1, the shortened season, week 1 in 1982.
Was that it?
Yeah, according to
Oh.
PDG90 in the chat.
Oh, with the Steelers Cowboys.
Interesting.
Okay.
Most
Very
rushing
interesting.
yards in a game ever by Steelers running back. Wasn't it Bell versus the Bills? Or was it
I'm
Bell
pretty
versus
sure
the
it was
Chiefs in
back-
the playoffs?
I don't remember. I think it was Bills when it was like snowing.
That's what I think. Or was it the playoff game versus the Chiefs?
No, it had to been no. We're talking regular season here.
Then I think it was first the Bills when it was snowing.
It
and
had
was,
to have
like,
been.
destroying them. Yeah. Didn't he have like 2 touchdowns or something like that?
It was. Yep. It was Le'Veon Bell. 236 against the Bills in
Yep.
2016. I remember that game very vividly.
Yeah, Bell was
I remember
unstoppable.
that very well.
He had himself a Shady McCoy game in the snow, bro.
Oh yeah.
And what happened? We lost in the playoffs and didn't do anything since. Last time we won the playoffs.
The
playoffs
standard
was
is the
that year.
standard, man. You know it.
You know, finishing over 500, stealing a playoff spot from a team that maybe could have done something, and then losing first round. Yes.
You know Deontay is mad. If he didn't bitch and complain, he would be fine here. He didn't want to be here.
No. So like this is what Johnson
No, yeah,
wanted.
I'd rather have people here than instead of being hostages.
Yeah,
Just gonna say that
like
there.
this is what Deontay wanted. He don't want to be here no more. And it's like, well, you know, he's just being a Mr. Hot Potato this time of year. So it's just
And
like
now he can sit on the bench and watch as his current team loses.
at this
on Saturday.
Exactly.
in this case, sit on the couch.
Exactly.
Then the only thing I'd like is for us to actually score a touchdown this time. Instead of, I'm happy we have Boz. I'm happy Boz can kick six field goals.
Love balls.
But I'd rather aid him and score a couple touchdowns.
GT, brother, I think you're asking way too much.
Is
of Marcus
that your
Smith
is
and the
that your
Steelers,
hot
man.
take, GT?
Correct. Yeah, my hot take is we're gonna score, at least 2 touchdowns.
Uh,
All right.
wow, 2. Wow.
2. Wow, 2.
Yeah.
Hell,
Alright.
speak into existence,
Yeah,
my
so-
friend. Yes, sir.
Both are gonna be Russ Wilson rushing touchdowns. All right. 100%. No.
Okay,
Never seen
okay, hold
Jeffrey
on.
rush
You know what?
here.
I'm glad you said that. Trivia question for the chat. When was the last time a Steelers quarterback scored 2 rushing touchdowns in a game? GT, you might know the answer. I want to see what the chat says first. Rob, do you know?
My answer
I
I'm
do.
gonna say is Mike Vick. That's
You-
my answer.
You are incorrect.
Hold on, didn't Fields
All
do
right.
it in a game?
Did
Didn't
he?
Fields do it this season?
I think he did.
Think you're right. That's not who I was thinking of.
Well, who were
okay,
you thinking?
before
I was
that,
thinking Kenny Pickett. Wasn't Kenny Pickett last year, like his first start?
it was Kenny Pickett versus the
Yeah, let's-
Jets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
All
my
right, that's what. Or
God.
2 years ago. Yeah. I
And we
remember
lost that game.
His first ever start.
Yeah,
When,
Pickett
when all of his incompletions were interceptions.
didn't Pickett throw like 3 interceptions in that game?
Yes.
Yes, those were his only incompletions. Were his 3 interceptions that he had. If he didn't throw those interceptions, they would have been perfect.
See, that was
It
the
would've
right
went
that,
a
that-
perfect.
dude, that was the writing on the wall from there.
We were feeling good too after that.
Yeah.
We thought we had a great guy, and then
Nope. Nope. It's called adrenaline.
I still blame
Ouch.
Matt Canada.
And yes, Justin.
Fire
Field-
Matt Canada, anyone? Fire Matt Canada.
I think he's already fired. Where's he at nowadays?
Let's re-sign him so we can fire him again.
Let's not do that.
No.
I'm not going through that again.
No.
But yes,
let's not do that.
Fields did score 2 touchdowns twice versus the Colts and versus the Raiders.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was thinking prior to that, which was counting.
No, Fields did it, yeah.
Hot take: Russ takes this game
Well-
into his own hands and runs for over 70 yards and a touchdown. You talking old Russ?
You talking rookie Russ right here.
Russ is going to cook.
I mean, I'd love to see it. Let him cook, yeah.
We'll see, man.
Mr. Unlimited coming out, all right?
Unlimited. I don't know, man. Crazy things have happened, right?
Hey, you never
If
know.
that happens, I'm going to Subway, get myself a Danger Russ sandwich, all right? 100%.
It's dangerous. Yes,
It's
sir.
dangerous, yes.
It's spicy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, looking at the playoffs, right? If obviously the Ravens' next 3 opponents are us, the Texans, and then the Browns.
Yes,
Now
sir.
they did lose to the Browns early this season, but I don't think they're going to lose again. Unless they decide, you know what, we already locked up a spot, we can't win the division, we can't move anywhere, and they want to rest their starters. Then hey,
Right.
but
And speaking of the Browns, they benched Jameis Winston.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
yeah, I saw that
They got Dorian Thompson Robinson starting. That's not good. That's not even that much better.
Take the Bengals money line is all I gotta say.
Yep. Bengals gonna win that one. For sure.
Take the Bengals money line. Actually, that's a good way to transition.
I would argue that's a lock.
That is yeah, it's a lock. That's a lock. Yeah, I'd argue that's a lock. In fact, let's take a look at the money lines for BetUS, man. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us this live stream, man. They got all the Week 16 money lines. Let's take a look at the schedule here. So obviously the Chargers won tonight. Then we got the Texans and the Chiefs, and Steelers and Ravens doubleheaded on Saturday. That's gonna be intense, important football. We got the Browns at the Bengals. The Bengals are heavy favorites. My God. We got the Lions and Bears. The Bears suck. We got the Cardinals and the Panthers. Cardinals should have that. Maybe the Panthers pull off the upset. Patriots and Bills. That's lock. That's my lock of the week. Bills. Eagles at Commanders. I'm going Commanders, bro. Watch this. I'm gonna take. What happened? Oh no! It went away. It went away.
How the heck that happened?
I don't know.
Technical difficulties.
Well, while I get that loaded up, I apologize for that. But shout out to BetUS, man. They have a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, up to $2,000, and 125% on your next 2 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150 when signing up at betus.com today. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that promo code, plus all the great perks that they have to offer, which include free, what's it called? Live wagering on all major sports, fast and easy deposit withdrawal process, and fastest payouts in the industry, plus so many other great perks from our friends over at BetUS, man. But yeah, I don't know why it glitched out on me like that. That was weird. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans. I'm gonna take the Steelers, and I'm going to take the the Commanders, because I'm still salty. I'm very salty off that. I'm gonna combine that into a parlay. Let's put 5 on it. 5 wins us 110. If all that happens, we come out with a nice little payday. So if you guys want to tail this, feel free to do so, man. Taking the upsets, taking the underdogs is a good way to go, man, if you're feeling very confident. I always say go with my gut, and that's what my gut's telling me this weekend, man. So hopefully that becomes into fruition. Hopefully all that becomes truthful. We'll see what happens, man. But shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us this live stream. Just please gamble responsibly. Alrighty. All right, guys, I want to get you guys' last quick intake. You guys in the chat, let us know, what is your guys' game prediction? What are your guys' keys to victory? And who do you think wins this game?
If you're not down with that, we've got 2 words for
GT
you.
says my Wi-Fi turned off. Should be back shortly. Well, seeing it's midnight and it's officially Friday, happy Friday. So we're going to close this stream out shortly. But GT, we appreciate you for joining us for that short period of time and giving us your intake and your
trivia question at that.
Yeah, trivia
Very
question.
difficult, man. Like it took me some time to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm still stumped.
Yeah.
Still stumped.
Yeah. But no, shout out to GT Show. Thanks for the super chats, man. Thanks for joining us for a little bit.
Shout out to all you guys for joining us, man, on this Thursday into Friday morning. Appreciate you guys, as always, man, joining us for another preview as we discuss the Steelers versus Ravens game, man. So, let us know you guys' final predictions or bold predictions or anything in the live chat. What are your guys' keys to victory? Mine are, we got to get to Lamar. We got to force the game in his hands. We got to force mistakes. Defense is going to have to win us this game. And offensively, they got to start faster. They definitely have to win time of possession. And you got to utilize Williams, Calvin Austin, and Warren just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Feed those guys. Feed those demons. Give those guys the opportunity. And I think this offense will find more success because of it. I think those are the keys to victory. You gotta use certain personnel and give them more time, and the defense gotta come up big.
Yeah, indeed, man. Indeed. You know, I said last week that execution, time of possession, and protecting the football was going to be key. I would say that's still going to be the case here for this one. You know, they got to protect the football. Losing that ball last week with the toss and the fumble from Najee, that hurt us badly. They got to protect the football desperately, especially in the divisional matchup in this one. Time of possession, I think someone mentioned in the chat earlier in the stream that Steelers had 36 minutes of time of possession against the Ravens, man. They really controlled that game for the majority of the time. So that's really going to have to come up big again when it comes up to this matchup against the Ravens. You know, execution. You know, they're not going to have Pickens. You know, having him, you know, really hurts. But, you know, they have showcased that they can still remain competitive even without Pickens. It's just a matter of guys being in predicaments, guys being utilized, and guys just having to execute when they're given the task and given the chance. So those three keys are still, what's really going to have to come up big when it comes to the offense there. As for the defense, I mean, last time these two teams met, the defense limited the Ravens to the lowest amount of points and yards that they had this season as far as the Ravens go.
Absolutely.
So and they may be without some key starters. Elliott's doubtful. Ogunjobi is questionable. Same with Dante Jackson. They may not have some significant starters that they had in the first matchup, but it's still a matter of, no matter who's in, no matter who's the starter or the starters at that for both Steelers and Ravens, it's always going to be difficult. It's always going to be challenging. It's always going to be competitive. So still, defense still got to come up big. They still got to try to get pressure toward Lamar Jackson. They got to force Jackson to feel uncomfortable and force him to make mistakes like he usually does against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, of course, you got to slow down Derrick Henry.
100%, man. Yeah, you got to slow down Henry, force the game in Lamar's hands, win the turnover battle, win time of possession, and the offense got to start off faster. A lot easier said than done, but I feel like that's the way you beat the Ravens, man. The Steelers always just know how to game plan and compete and limit Lamar Jackson. They are Lamar's kryptonite, and I'm hoping that's evident again come Saturday. We got to beat the Ravens, man. This is very important. Most important game of the season. We are without Pickens. That sucks. But if anything has showed us or anything that tells us about this rivalry, no matter who plays, no matter what the personnel is, no matter what these teams offer, no matter what the records are, no matter who is at the whelm for both teams, it's always close. It's competitive. It's just one of those games. It's one of those rivalries that it's never a blowout. It's never one-sided. It's been one-sided in terms of the victory for the Steelers, but every single one of those games has been within one score.
Yeah. So I would not expect a blowout. I would not expect a shootout at that. No, just going to be one of them low-scoring, highly defensive, highly competitive games where it could really come down to whoever turns the ball over the most. Whoever wins time of possession, whoever protects the ball better, and just whoever can get the most points on the board, obviously.
Agreed. I'm very excited for this game, man. I'm going into it feeling as if it's like the last game of the season or the most important game of the season. I'm going into this game feeling an immense sense of importance. The Steelers have to go in with a strong mindset, a killer instinct. We're at their house. The division is still up for grabs. We don't have it yet, but let's claim it now. Let's make it ours with 2 games to spare. Let's go into their house. Let's rain on their parade. Let's make their season a little bit worse. Let's give them a sour taste. Let's sweep the Ravens, and let's clinch the AFC North.
Let's extend the lead against the Ravens when it comes to beating them. The Steelers have won 4 straight in general against the Ravens, 4 straight in Baltimore. Let's add those to 5. Let's add a number to that. Let's make it 5.
Digital Dust makes a great point. We always have a chance with Watt, and Watt will be playing in this game. That is massive. Highsmith will be playing in this game alongside Watt. We didn't have that last time. This is crucial. We got one goal, one mindset, one objective come Saturday in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. That is beat the Ravens, win the division. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how it's done. Get it done.
Yep.
Steelers have to beat the Ravens. That is their one objective. That is their one goal. That when I wake up Saturday morning, that's the one thing I will be craving for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and dessert. Beat the Ravens. That is all I want. That is my appetite come Saturday. I'm hoping Tomlin, I'm hoping Russ, I'm hoping everybody leads themselves feeling the same way.
I want an early Christmas present. The holiday is just right around the corner. We're technically now 5 days away from the holiday if you guys celebrate it. So there's one thing I want as far as an early Christmas present goes, is to beat the Ravens.
Yes, it is. As always, man. Let's beat the Ravens. Let's win the division. Let's close this division out, and let's get back in the win column. Let's get our win back from that loss versus the Eagles, and let's again beat the Ravens, man. That's all I really want at the end of the day. I don't know how we're gonna do it. I don't know how this game's gonna go. Just get a win. At the end of the day, here we go, Steelers. Let us know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'm gonna go with the Steelers victory. I'm going to go with the Steelers sweep and the Steelers clinching the AFC North, and I'm going to go with the Steelers winning at a final score of 19-16.
Oof, 19-16. I mean, like, when's the last time the Steelers Ravens either team got over 20 points? When's the last time? It's been a bit, right?
Yes,
it's been quite a bit.
In fact, I'm going to give you the game script of how exactly we're going to get that. not those 19 points. The Steelers are going to open the game, or they're going to get 3 points first. Then they're going to score a touchdown. They're going to go 3 straight field goals, getting to 19 points.
Okay.
I just gave you the game script.
I can see it. I really can.
And I don't give a damn how it's done. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done.
Yeah. I'm going to go with score prediction of 17-14. I think it's going to be one of them games that just comes down to a field goal. You know, it essentially was last time. You know, we won 18-16 against Baltimore. I can see something similar. I really can.
It's going to be a great game, man. I'm very excited. I'm going into it with a mindset of just beat the Ravens. I'm going into this game, you know, just as if it's the last game of the year, bro, and the season's on the line. Go in with that mindset. Go in with a sense of just, let's beat this team, and let's go home with the division title. Let's go into Christmas with the division title, with a gift already wrapped for ourselves. Let's gift ourselves before Christmas. I think that'd be great, man. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for watching. As always, here we go. Steelers at the end of the day. You guys know we will be live for the Steelers versus Ravens game. That's going to be a high-intensity type of stream. That's going to be very vocal, at least on my part. I will be heavily animated. Warning you right now.
Yep.
Swear jar will be refilled. Might be empty by the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely needs to refill, that's for sure. But you can bet your bottom dollar this will be filled probably to the tippy top. Just, you know, just for the safe side, because the Steelers Ravens.
I will be animated. I will be ready. I will be honestly at my most.
Most likely you'll have the eggnog on deck.
Yes. Absolutely. I will have Pennsylvania Dutch on deck. That is for sure.
Yep. There you go.
So let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for watching as always. Shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and consider for sponsoring with us on this live stream. Again, take advantage of that 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next 2 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150 when signing up at BetUS.com today. So huge shout out to them for sponsoring with us this live stream and the entire NFL season. It's Week 16. The Steelers got football come Saturday on the road again. We got one goal and one objective. That's win the AFC North. The only way to do that is to beat the Ravens. They're in our way, and it'll be a bad day to be a Baltimore Raven. Let's beat the Ravens, man.
Let's make it that way.
So, and you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week, and then let's get ready for the weekend. Regardless, man, it's Friday. Finish the work week strong. Then we got game day come Saturday. We can kind of rest and chill on Sunday knowing it's going to be stress-free, or hopefully stress-free. Yeah. And we can enjoy Sunday a little more knowing maybe the Steelers are going to clinch the division. So with that being said, it's the last couple days before Christmas. Get your shopping done. Get your safe traveling done. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Make it a strong one, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. Here we go, Steelers.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!